Next, let's create a new level gimmick. Go to the level prototyping folder and open the interactable folder. And in here, right click, create a new blueprint, select actor, and let's call it BP_spikes. Let's open that up. And in here, we'll create a static mesh and we'll call it spikes. And we'll actually create another static mesh. So let's duplicate this and call this base, because it's going to be two parts. Save and compile. Let's go back to level prototyping and let's click on the import button. In here, we will select the spike trap. Press import and it will import two meshes. Let's move the materials to the material folder. Move the spikes to the meshes folder. Click save all. Back in the blueprint. For the base, let's look for the spike and choose the spike trap base. And for the spikes, let's look for spike trap spikes. And now we have these spikes here. Save and compile. And for the spikes, let's scroll down and set them from block all dynamic collision preset to overlap all dynamic. Save and compile. And let's drag and drop them into the scene. It's going to look a little bit weird because the coordinates are 0, 0 for the base mesh. So we can just push it a bit upwards so we can see things much better. Save this. And we can press play. And now it's in the level and it has collision. But nothing's happening yet. So let's go back to the blueprint for the spikes. And in here, we go to the event graph. And in the begin play, let's create a new timeline. And let's call it timeline_loop. And once again, we'll connect it to play from start. Let's move these down here. And open up the timeline. And in here, we'll make it 4 seconds. We'll create a new float track. And we'll call it alpha. And in here, actually, we're going to create this time a lot more keys. So right click, create one key, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And let's set the first one again to 0, 0. And for the second one, we'll set it to 0.125, and the value to 1. And the third one, we'll set it to 2 seconds, and the value to 1 as well. And then we'll set the last one to 2.125 and the value to 0. Save and compile. And let's go back to the event graph. And in here, we'll get the spikes mesh and we'll set relative location. Connect that to update. And once again, we'll get a lerp vector. Connect the alpha to the alpha. And for here, we'll keep everything 0. And for the B, z-axis, we'll set it to 85. And now press save and compile. And now let's press play and see what happens. So the spikes come out and then they go back in. But it's only running once. So let's fix that and make it loop. Back in the spike blueprint, create a new custom event and call it spike trap loop. And we'll move actually this timeline and connect it to here. And now, when the timeline ends at the finish, we will once again call the spike trap loop. And that way it keeps looping. So we save, compile, and one more thing. So in the begin play, we'll call spike trap loop. Save and compile, and now we press play. And now it should keep looping. Yeah. Now that looks much better. But right now, it's a kind of a boring spot for the spike and you can just go around it. So let's create a little challenge. So over here, let's remove this and we'll select these meshes and adjust their scales. To make it easier to adjust the scale, let's set the scale snapping to 1. And we'll adjust this one as well. Copy paste. So we put this to the other side. And then reconnect them with there. Nice. And now let's take this, put it here, and let's 0 the z-axis and actually do this also 2000. So now we can have it nicely like this. Make a copy and another copy. And let's select all 3 and make a bunch more copies. And let's copy this box from here, put it at the end, scale it up a little bit, and let's create walls over here. Let's copy this one, put it down here, move it, make it higher, copy it again, and finally, one more time we copy it, rotate it, make it a bit smaller, move it, and we move it back. And finally, let's put in a star over here at the end. So, this will become now a little challenge to get to the star. But as you can see, that was a little bit too easy. So let's add a bit of a variation to the spikes, so they don't all come out at the same time. Back in the blueprint, in the begin play, let's create a delay, and for the duration, let's promote it to a variable, call it start delay, and then organize this a bit, save and compile, and now we have this float here where we can customize the start time for the spike trap, so that there's a bit of a variation between each spike. But if we just have it like this for now, all of them will have this 0.2 second delay. So nothing will have changed and they're all coming out at the same time. So what we have to do is down here in the variables section, you see this icon over here. You can press that and it's basically like an eye that opens up. You can also do this by going here and pressing this button, instance editable. And you see, same thing happened. Now save and compile. And what this does is back in the level, now when we select these spikes, we actually have this variable exposed. So this is a really cool thing where sometimes you have certain settings that you want to have in all of the versions of a blueprint, but sometimes you want to have some unique settings that would change with different versions of the blueprint in the scene. So in this case, we'll set these, keep these at 0. Then over here, we'll set these at 0.25. Then over here, we'll set these at 0.5. And we'll keep going up by 0.25. So 0.75. And then finally, 1 second delay. And now we save, press play. And now when we go there, we have this nice rhythm. And we have this nice challenge. And that's it for this lesson.